Well, thank you for staying with Daybreak. It's the State of the Nation special edition because the BBI ruling is expected to begin from 9 a.m. But we're still talking about the issue around the handshake and Governor for Kirinyaga, Anne Waiguru, calling for a handshake between Deputy President William Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta. One of the things that she mentioned, Wamatangi, was that the people around the president are lying to him. You were one of the people around the president for the longest time. Is that statement true? Because you did ditch Jubilee.
True. Okay, can I Trevor, conjoin that with what my friend Tom Wajenda said? Because he said that
you just discovered
that why has it taken me so long to realize that the mountain is UDA, and Prof. Probably you'd take that as a lesson in what it means to be true to oath of office and to keep true to an allegiance for the time when you have contracted to do it. And for the record, that is why I stayed with Jubilee and I stayed true to my president, because I had a contract that I was going to serve in the Jubilee party as long and until the tenure and the time to campaign came. And that's why I waited until when the president himself said that now it is time to go campaign, find your new alliances. And he said he's gone out or two. And so for all the time when I stayed true to him is because I believe in principle that when I give my word, I must keep it. And so it has nothing to do with a new discovery. I always knew that there was a rising wave within the region, but that was not going to shake me. I was going to make sure that I delivered in my office, as I did. So, having said that, allow me just a quick one, because my friend here and running mate, we are still running mates, even if it's going to be in 2027. But when you're talking about the president and the promise he made, there's a word you've used there continuously, that let's find the reason or seek to know why the president reneged. And if you check your dictionary, the word renege means go back on a promise. And so, that is telling. Probably you'd look for, because going back on a promise means that you have not kept your word. And I believe probably that would not be the word you'd use. And then that affirmation that you've made many times that, why did Raila also go back on his word and reject Ruto? That's a conversation you don't want to have, in my view, because if it is about political rejection of individuals, then it is a Pandora's box. Because Raila has rejected Ruto, he rejected Musalia, he rejected Wetangula, he even rejected Uhuru, and it has been rejection all the way. I mean, of different individuals. Remember, there was a time when you were also rejected, and you have said that many times here. When you had to say that you have been told utanaswa, this is what you told us here severally, and then you said that it is yourself who is going to nasa how. Isn't that what he told us? That was also a political rejection, for that matter. And so I don't think that you would use that probably as justification. And then on this question of, do I think that the people of Mount Kenya are forcefully or being pushed to feel like they're carrying a burden of debt? And what I said, Trevor, is that we have been condemned to carry a false tag that the people of Mount Kenya are not promisable. And that is what we want to shed off. Yeah. Because we are promisable. We've kept our word on so many things. And that's why we have all along, despite numerical strength, restrained ourselves. Even many times when you find violence, beckons. You find our people are ejected from their property. You find people are harassed all over. But we have taken the humble way of knowing that we are better off living among the other communities. And that is what we want to prove this time, that we made a promise, that we are going to keep that promise. And it does not matter. If, as Wakili Mutua has said, that if indeed President Uhuru found it in his heart and mind to go and have a handshake with Raila Amolo Odinga, a man whom they were bitter blood foes, who went to swear himself as president, and they would have a handshake, then why wouldn't he have a handshake with Ruto?
Okay.
But like I've said, the handshake between the president and Ruto happened in 2013 in Nakuru. Okay. It is only a question of living true to that particular handshake. Now, on this last question, that you've asked, have we been misadvising the president when you were around him? Because you're on this side, and then you're saying I'm on the other side. By the way, I still remain the same man with the same principle. There was no one time when we ever misadvised the president or even tried to block him from either making any decision. I believe that is where you find, if you look at the time when we have served within the Jubilee government, the delivery of the Jubilee government has been outstanding. And that is why, and let me put this question to even my panelists here. If, for example, Jubilee had such a stinking record, why would a man like Raila Odinga want then to partner with the president and be his buddy in the forthcoming election? It is because he knows that there was value, and he could still stake his reputation by going into Jubilee and partnering with the president.
But why would a man like you want to leave? If you didn't.
Let me make that clear, Trevor, for that matter. When I have served in the Jubilee government, I served up to my contract until when it's campaign time. The decisions that you make as to how will you run for your political office in the next dispensation is as clear as what you have seen the president himself doing. That although we have been with him in Jubilee and with William Ruto, he made a decision according to his own democratic right, that he was now going to be supporting Raila Amolo Odinga, and he moved the allegiance to Azimio. That is why you find that Raila Amolo Odinga himself, who for all practical purposes has been an opponent of the president bitterly, also made a decision that he's going to work together with him. And so in the same sense, that is why I have found that as a way forward to deal with the issues that affect my people as I know them and experience them, that they're better off being dealt with in the next dispensation within the format, policy, and manifesto of the UDA party.
Mutua, you have also been around the president. Have you people been misadvising the president?
I don't think the president can be misadvised. I mean, the people are advised. I remember even when I was even closer, the president I even worked closer with was Mwai Kibaki, and we met every day. We sat down, we had a state of the nation. He was briefed by intelligence, we briefed him and everything, and then we gave him advice. But the president decides whether to take our advice. A lot of times, President Mwai Kibaki did not take our advice. He said, no, itafanyika hivi. Because he is a president. Our job is to provide him with information, and so that he can make a decision or take a step based on knowledge, not based on ignorance. So this issue of President Miss being advised, Uhuru is not a person to be misadvised, know. Yes, it is important to have the right people surrounding you at the right time and all that. It's neither here nor there. It's usually casting aspersions and everything, because even Waiguru herself was supposed to be in so-called kitchen cabinet. Uhuru Kenyatta, was she misadvising him? But let me get back to some of the things that my friend has said here. Umejitetea sana leo. Leo umejitetea sana. Now, you can see we are trying to tell people why you seem to have jumped ship from Uhuru Kenyatta's side, and you're trying to make an argument. But I can see where you're coming from, because also you need to be seen as a man who doesn't make wishy-washy steps. Now, when we talk about...
mate cannot make those kind of, I mean, before you chose me as a running mate, and I chose you as a...
No, we understand.
We must have known each other's principles. And
Let him finish.
Now, when I talk about reneging, and let me clarify here. When I talk about the Uhuru Kenyatta reneged on his agreement, and in every agreement, there's what senior wakili here, senior counsel here, and Wakili Mutua will tell you, what is called a sunset clause. There comes a time when you know that any agreement can end up in a divorce, in a political divorce. But there is always a reason to it. These are people who are very happy. They had a handshake in 2013. And the handshake that was there in 2013 was not for Uhuru Kenyatta. It was there for Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta shook hands with William Ruto for Kenya. The handshake that was there in 2018 between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga was not for Uhuru Kenyatta. It was also for Kenya. So the handshakes that Uhuru Kenyatta has taken, they have been for Kenya. They have not been for himself. So let us not think that they are doing it for individuals. He was doing it for Kenya, for his love of the country Kenya. You renege an agreement if there's something wrong. Let me ask you, for example.
Yes.
You employ a house help, and maybe you sign an agreement, you say, I'm going to keep this house help, and I'm going to have this house. But then you realize that house help is a child molester. That house help anaiba jewelry anaenda kuuza. That house help ananyemelea, unaona? So you renege your agreement with this house help because you realize this house help is not the very nice house help that you thought when you brought that house help to your kids. Yeah. Amekuwa akimolest watoto wako, ni child rapist. Akiingia ndani you realize you renege. So reneging is not wrong. The question we want to know is that what did Ruto do, or what did Uhuru Kenyatta see that made him renege? Yeah. Because Uhuru Kenyatta, it would have been easier for him to have just let things flow.
Just allow me on that one. Yes. Just agree as you proceed. Yes.
And I'm not talking about your personal.
I know. I just wanted to bring up this point to you that when you make a promise, then there's a distinction and difference between a promise and a contract. So if you contract with somebody, so that you have your conditions, you have whatever, but generally in a promise, you are committing yourself wholesomely that this is what you are going to do. And if then you're using the word that indeed he reneged, that in my view would be wrong. It is failure to trust. But contractually, you can change terms.
Okay. All right. Let me bring
but if I can just finish.
Yes.
But see, it's the same thing. It's failure because the issue is, why would you break a promise if there's no good reason? And I went to the Jubilee NDC, and Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't know whether you were there. We should have read the signs at that time.
I watched.
You watched, yeah. You are not there. We should have read the signs. Uhuru was very clear about the greed that he saw manifested in the person of William Ruto. The greed that said it is about him. And I've said here many times, say that if William Ruto had just behaved like the late President Moi, being faithful, working hard for the nation, doing development, huyu ndio boss, msaidie, angekuwa sasa ndio hata hii mambo ya kusukumana hakuna. Angekuwa ndio automatic president next year, very, very quickly. But it is the greed that was there that President Uhuru Kenyatta talked about. The things that he was doing that Uhuru Kenyatta felt that this is not the right person to leave this country for. So, it's reality. And very final is this. What is the lesson we learned from all this? All these agreements, handshakes, we had Kalonzo Musyoka talking about that there was agreement. Let us stop politics and people joining hands out of convenience. Let us choose people who can work together, who are embodied to work together for the sake of this country, not for their own political aspirations. I think that's a lesson we've learned as a country. Okay. Because all these joining hands were done for personal benefit. Okay. So let's do these things for our country. So when William Ruto chooses his deputy president, when as running mate, when Raila Odinga chooses deputy president for his running mate, it needs to be people they can work together, not marriages of convenience. Okay. Not people who just come in because you want to win one group.
But Governor, just to leave a question with Governor, and please answer it in your next turn to speak. So if President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta found it in his heart, as Wakili Mutua said, to forgive Raila Odinga for all the things that he said and did, and including attempting to dethrone him, why wouldn't he find it in his heart to forgive William Ruto?
Okay, good question. Hold that question there. Yes, Prof.
Trevor, I think it is clear. Yeah. Wamatangi it's clear that he was true to service. He served the nation as he did then. He's still senator until 8th of August, and therefore should continue to serve. Well, he has choices under Article 38. He has chosen to go to Kenya Kwanza, and I think we wish him well in his bid. But just one promise on Watangi, that you will be in the opposition. Now, on just to further the handshake, I think there's no. I don't think it is a bad thing that we can have a handshake between His Excellency President and William Ruto as he exits. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think the handshake is about peace. It's about accepting what we have. It's about acknowledging that we are Kenyans and that we must always work towards the good of this nation. I think that is not in doubt, Trevor, and I think that is what Governor Mutua is speaking to. That is what Kimani Wamatangi is speaking to. But I think we need to interrogate the deep questions about this country.
Yeah.
And it is those deep questions that, of course, after analysis, the president saw that his choice and what he believes is good for this country lies in his cooperation with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And that is why he then chose to work with Raila and then they now have this big vehicle, Azimio, which has 29 parties. I always tell Mwamatanga, as we move to UDA, you should know that you are in a coalition of about just 5 political parties, 2 of which are from Western Kenya. And Western Kenya, by the way, is an ODM zone, is a red zone for DM and DAPK. So that means that you may have taken the 2 people into Kenya Kwanza, but Western Kenya is with the ODM DAPK. And I think that is, therefore, for you, that is not again, that is again for Azimio. So let me just tell you this, that the president had a right of choice to exercise under Article 38, as you also have.
Yeah.
And going forward, I think what we look to is compliance, proper nominations within the political parties, within ODM and other political parties, and eventually a successful and peaceful election in 2022.
All right, Mutua?
Yeah, let me agree with Dr. Mutua when he says that the president is not capable of being misadvised. Actually, to entertain that thought goes directly to question the integrity of the president. Because number one, he's supposed, to know the kind of advice he's seeking.
Yeah.
In our local language, we say you cannot be advised unless you first give yourself advice. So you must be looking for the right advice and understand what is it that is good. The president is a man who has access to intelligence. He's a man who has access to alternative opinions, second opinions, so he cannot be misadvised. We must let the president take responsibility for his actions, because if he takes the wrong advice, then it is him we question, because it is him we elected.
Yeah. All right. Let me take some feedback coming through here on social media. Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak before we talk about the BBI. The BBI case is an active court case, so we'll just be skirting around it because the judges are yet to give their verdict. But let's bring up what you're saying in regards to the conversations that we've already had now. Paul Popote says, Waiguru calling for Ruto handshake now is not for the benefit of Ruto, but for Central Kenya aspirants in UDA who are seeing the ground turning wild. They believe a handshake will save them. Okay. James says handshake according to UDA means Uhuru supporting Ruto. It's all political. The guy they said only has 1 vote. It's interesting. Gishinga Mwita says Uhuru's handshake with William Ruto was about winning elections. His handshake with Raila was about succession. Okay. Aaron Munyefu says there must be a very bitter thing or things that happened between my beloved president and his deputy. This is only reaction to the action that might have occurred. Remember, action always begs for reaction. Bob Otieno says these hulabalus are working against Raila Odinga. It clearly indicates President Uhuru Kenyatta is supporting his DP, William Ruto, behind the scenes, and Anne Waiguru calling for the handshake and seconded by Kimani Wamatangi. Kuna mtu anachezu. Okay. Felix says those people in UDA, they said handshake is a bad thing. Now they want handshake for what purpose? Waliimba bomas bila Uhuru yawezekana. Vitu kwa ground ni opposite. Angela Lazaro says before demanding for the second handshake, Governor Waiguru should inquire between DP and the president who bolted out of the other. The president has a genuine claim that his DP internationally, or it says intentionally, means intentionally deserted him to chase over his wild ambitions. Ndungu Wanaina says there's nothing illegal or criminal in impeaching a president or government in office. Constitution prescribes how and the procedure to impeach president and or a government. So Uhuru Kenyatta and his supporters' claims are misguided, illogical and irrelevant propaganda. Chuna Ndichu says, wonders never cease. Can't believe that Wamatangi did not believe that he could be elected on a Jubilee ticket. Very sad indeed. No. Okay, that's a direct question. Did you never believe that you could be re-elected in a Jubilee ticket?
No,
That's true from Chuna Ndichu.
No, absolutely not. It is not about belief as to where you'd be re-elected or not.
Yeah.
Trevor, it's about belief as to where best are you able to propagate the issues, the concerns, the will of your people. And I've addressed that here before, the last 2 weeks. So I just want to assure our viewers, but mostly my people in Kiambu, the ones who have elected me, that we talk we every day. I'm with them. We consult. And I'm here courtesy of their sponsorship. By electing me. And so it is their wish and their will that I represent. And that is how we have decided as the people of Kiambu, that as far as I'm concerned as their rep, that I will best be responsible and represent the interests within the formation of Kenya Kwanza.
Are you confident that the nominations will be free and fair, or are you going for consensus?
We are going right to the ballot until and unless that becomes an option. We would be able to discuss. Nothing is off the table. In my view, we can be able to discuss, see if it's possible. If it is not, then we can also agree. I mean, to go to the ballot. Nothing stops us in the first place from being able to conduct free and fair nominations. We have all the systems in place. We have every intent to have nominations that are going to give credence not only to the party's commitment to democracy, but also to ensure that people can see that their will has been done, and not only done, but seen to be done. So either way, it's possible to proceed. What we want to do is to ensure that as a party, as a coalition, we are going to maximize on the number of seats that we are going to be getting in the region, so that what we hold to be our wish and manifesto about how the people should look like then can be implemented.
Yes. Prof, you two are going to face this issue.
Trevor, there's a problem here.
Yes.
I see a possibility that the very erudite and intelligent Kimani Wamatangi may not even be in the ballot. If he loses in the nominations, how sad. In Jubilee, he would have been assured of a ticket because he has qualities of the leader that Kiambu needs. But because of all these numbers in UDA, he may not be in the ballot. In my party, the ODM, we have a way of ensuring that only the best get to the ballot. And I will be in the ballot. Now that's the difference.
Are you sure now? The party leader here, Maendeleo Chap.
Prof, now I don't want to get back to the floor before my running mate does, but one thing I can assure you is that, as I've said, you can view it that way, that in Jubilee I would have had a sure bet to be on the ballot. But my intent was not only to be on the ballot. My intent was to be a representative of my people in the best place and fashion and manner in which they want me to be the representative. And so I have to put aside what I would think would be the easiest and shorter route to seeing my name on the ballot, to ensuring that when I am there on the ballot, and I can tell you for sure that I have no doubt that I will be on the ballot. And I'll fight it out to ensure that what our party stands for is going to be actualized in Kiambu County.
How is Maendeleo Chap going to do this? Because the nominations begin from tomorrow, actually.
Yesterday I got a visit from some very senior people who are from the Mount Kenya region. And they came to talk to me about the future and everything, and my party and other things. And they told me, especially in Kiambu, that Jubilee has really been demonized. It's been demonized from within, with Moses Kuria, with William Ruto and others. So I understand where my friend is going from, because you can be in a vehicle that is going in reverse. in that region, and I feel that is one of the challenges. When he talks about he listened to the ground, because ulikuja hapo kuniambia ulisikiza ground.
Yeah.
Ukasikiza ground when I was asking was it about ideology ama ground. So it's also about survival for the fittest. I just hope that hautachujwa, because hawa jamaa wanajua kuchuja watu. Wanasema huyu acha tumchuje, tuweke mtu mwingine who is a yes person, because you can also be difficult. You're not a yes person. You're a person who does things out of out of using your brains. You don't just follow people blindly. You see, as we I'm going to answer your question, but first he asked me, why can't Uhuru Kenyatta forgive William Ruto? I think he forgave him. Forgiveness is one thing, but you can forgive a murderer does not mean that now you can, if that person murdered your family, now you forgive them so they can now come and live in your own house. Or you say you can forgive somebody who has done a mistake does not mean that if somebody has been stealing money from a corporation as the accountant, you can forgive them for all they did for bringing down the company. Does not mean that you hire them back to continue being the accountant. Forgiveness is one thing. Uhuru alisema na wasema amemsamehe, amesema yeye amesamehe watu, lakini kusamehe mtu si kusema utamlete aendelee kufanya kazi mbaya. You can forgive, but forgiving does not mean forgetting and bring them in. So I think
you took forgiveness in the wrong context.
Forgiving is not about the handshake. But I took it in the context that Wananchi understood. And and somebody here in the court talked about world ambition. Can you give somebody but see this world ambition, itachoma Kenya and everything. We just went through a very interesting exercise with the political parties, with the registrar of political parties, and that is getting people locked into political parties so that we can have a good democracy. And I'm very glad that my party, Maendeleo Chapcha Party, has quite attracted people from Mount Kenya who say we don't want to be caught in the drama between Jubilee and UDA. We want a party that actually works for our people. And we've welcomed them. And they'll be running in our party, and others will be coming. Others are coming to our party saying, hii vita hii watu wawili tunataka chama ambayo that cares about us. Then Wananchi are saying this party cares about you, not about this mvutano and this mvutano. Even though we are even in different houses when it comes to the end of it. And let me reiterate here the point that actually these guys told me yesterday. That is, at the end of the day, we must make sure that Kenya wins. It is not going to be a Raila win, or a Ruto win, or a Raila win, or a Ruto loss. It's going to be a Kenyan win. Yeah. We need to be in a point whereby the day after the elections, I can wake up, brush my side, brush my coat, and get back to work. Okay. Tujenge nchi yetu. All right. So let's get out of this, and I urge Kenyans, tafadhali, let us get out of this culture where whenever it is political time, it becomes a matter of kufa na kupona. Okay. It doesn't matter. These guys, they change hands kabisa. My friend here was here lambasting, if there is any English word like that, lambasting. Is there one? Lambasting. Lambasting, yeah. Lambasting. Unajua bado kambani lambasting. He was here lambasting UDA the other day. Yeah. He was here lambasting those people. Look at him now, asking for the president to shake hands with Ruto because it's going to be better for him and for Ruto. Wakenya hapo nyumbani mnachezwa na wanasiasa wakati mwingine. Kwa hivyo usipigane, usisukumane, usiinue mawe, usimtukane mtu, even on social media on other people. You don't go personal on a person because of the political belief. Okay. Agree to disagree with somebody and move on. Right. Make your choice peacefully. Kenya is bigger than all these politicians, including myself. It is for us and our children. Yeah. Prof, if the chairman of ODM himself, John Mbadi, can throw in the towel over the Homabay gubernatorial seat, why are you so confident that you will be in the ballot?
Trevor, as I've told you, the Orange Democratic Party is democratic and will conduct democratic nominations. I will tell you this, that there are two types of nominations. We have direct and indirect nominations. Indirect nominations, the party can choose to use a scientific method that involves its members. Yeah. And I think it has undertaken that process, a credible process of conducting opinion polls, where party members have participated. And they've done that over time. And I'm sure out of that framework, they are able to identify which candidates are strong in which areas. Remember when Oimeke was proposed or was nominated to run for a seat in the last by-election, he ran and won because his selection or his choice was based on the credible opinion polls conducted. If you go to Kiambu now, conduct opinion polls, you'll know whether Wamatangi is popular and will be governor or not. Because and if you do that repeatedly, you cannot be wrong by many proportions. The ODM party, I'm sure as a first call, will give direct tickets to individuals, I'm sure, who do not have opposition. I think that's an obvious call. And then the second approach perhaps would be to use consensus. That is provided for in the rules. Consensus would be where parties or individuals are shown results of opinion polls and told, you are not as popular as this person. And I'm sure credibly, ostensibly, a person who is less popular should step down for the person who is more popular. Or two individuals working on tickets who are perhaps first and too popular, or in terms of popularity, I'm sure should win. I saw something mentioned by the chair of ODM party, that where the opinion polls gives a variance of more than 10%, then obviously it is unlikely that even if this individual moved to either independent or to another party, they would still beat you. I'm sure that is not what we want for our party. So I can tell you for sure that ODM will only get the best candidates in regions. I am sure I will get the party ticket because I know that I am the most popular ODM Senate candidate for Kisumu. And the next individual in the poll, I think in the tailing in terms of percentage, is 40% below me. So I am sure that ticket belongs to me. Unlike Wamatangi here, who's perhaps leading by 5%, I lead by over 40%. And I've done that for many months.
Let's take a quick break now. When we come back, talk about this BBI issue. And like we mentioned, it's an active case, so we'll just cut around it. We're expecting the verdict from the Supreme Court judges starting at around 9 a.m., right? And that will, Elias Mutua will start us off on that issue and the possible outcomes of this and the impact of it all to the elections, right? Stay with Daybreak and keep your views coming at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're back with that topic in just a bit.